Good evening and welcome to the National Debate. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, the Stampede in Bengaluru earlier this week has dampened the mood of a city that was celebrating the victory of their team in the IPL after 18 long years. Several questions have emerged following that day. But unfortunately, we have more questions than answers. Every possible department that could take responsibility for the incident has only chosen to pass the buck. From the BCCI to the franchise to the police and the state government as well as the State Cricket Association, none have been able to give clear-cut answers on what really led to the deadly stampede that snuffed out 11 innocent lives. The Bengaluru Police Commissioner has been replaced. Members of the RCB franchise have been arrested. But will accountability be fixed? Viewers, we ask you this because the Bengaluru Stampede cannot be seen in isolation. Time and again, India wakes up to the news of a stampede in some part of the country. Sometimes it's in a Congress-ruled state such as Karnataka or even Telangana. In other times, it's in a BJP-ruled state like UP or Goa. We have all witnessed what happened at the Maha Kumbh and at the Tirupati temple and even at the Sandhya Theatre in Hyderabad. Unfortunately, stampedes are not new or few and far between here in India. So today, on the National Debate, let's not just talk about the political blame game, but let's go a step further. Let's put the focus on who really is failing you, the Janta, time and again. For how much longer will India tolerate this? And what must India as a nation do to ensure that stampedes become a thing of the past? Viewers, accountability must be fixed, but it must be fixed in all departments, in all governments to ensure what happened in Bengaluru is the last of such incidents. Let's quickly take you through what really has transpired and the unanswered questions that arises out of what has transpired in Bengaluru. What really was the hurry is one question that certainly many would ask in terms of carrying out this victory parade and the celebrations. This is one big unanswered question. We don't know who was putting the pressure on this. Who wanted the parade despite the warnings coming in from the cops is yet another question that many are asking. Why go in for a parade if the cops have said it should not be done? Let's move on to the next point. If police denied permission, why did the RCB then announce unilaterally? That's a question that many are asking. If the permission was denied, why was the Deputy CM at the event as well? Because we are told that there was no permission for the Chinnaswamy event. The DK Shivkumar called police the best. And then the very next day, the top cops have been suspended. So what changed in that span of 24 hours in Karnataka? Let's also go on to talk about the RCB marketing head, who's the organizing VP, etc., who've been arrested. Are they now the scapegoats? Are they the only ones who are going to be held with the blame? And also, can the Chief Minister, the Deputy Chief Minister, the Home Minister be absolved of any responsibility when it comes to the fiasco that took place and the unfortunate deaths that we're talking about? Let's quickly take a look at some of the aspects of what we're looking at over here. These are the sections that have been imposed. Section 105, culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Section 125(12), which is endangering lives. There's also section 142 of the BNS, the unlawful assembly section that has been invoked. And of course, section 121, which is abetment to an offense that has been invoked. These are some of the sections that have been invoked. And let's quickly take a look at other aspects of this as well. These are the 5 police personnel who have been suspended. This is B. Dayananda, the Bengaluru Police Commissioner, Vikas Kumar, Additional Commissioner of Police West Division, Shekhar Tekkanavar, the DCP of the Central Division, C. Balakrishna, the ACP of Cubbon Park Division, and A. K. Girish, who's the Inspector of the Cubbon Park Police Station. Who have those been arrested so far? Let's look at them as well. Nikhil Sosale is the marketing head of RCB. Sunil Matthews, the Vice President of Business Affairs at DNA Entertainment Networks that actually organized that event on ground as far as the event planning is concerned. Kiran Kumar is a Senior Event Manager of DNA Entertainment Networks Private Limited. Sumant is a Ticket Genie Solutions Private Limited representative that we're talking about. Let's also look at the kind of blame that has been fixed on the RCB. The first aspect is that they told RCB management to postpone the bash. This is what the police sources and others have been saying. The second is that RCB pressurized political leadership as well. That's the second question that has, in fact, been leveled as well as far as RCB is concerned. And this is where the state has blamed RCB, also saying that Home Minister agreed with the assessment but was overruled. Who overruled him? Of course, still means an important question. The fourth, blame is that cops could have planned better but had no time is a question that is also being asked. Why didn't they have enough time is a very valid question. RCB management to blame for this fiasco primarily is what is being stated by the state government. But is that enough? Also, they say that they told RCB that celebrations were premature given the fact that celebrations had gone on till late night, till about 3 or 4 in the morning, in fact. And despite that, they went ahead and organized this. The seventh aspect is that RCB put out a tweet without the permission or knowledge of the authorities, and that's why they are being held to account is what we are told. Blame 8 didn't have time to conduct the mock drill. Let's quickly open this up and take this across to all our guests joining us. Joining us is RP Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP. We have with us Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate. Shekhar Iyer, senior journalist, is with us. Also with us is Dr. Vikram Singh, former DGP of UP. With us is Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst. Ashwini Kumar Mishra is leader of the Congress party. Mohammad Tariq Khan is national spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. And Dr. Pula Rao is political analyst joining us. Tehseen, first and foremost, now, all of those have been arrested, those or at least are in the process of being arrested, associated with DNA, associated with Ticket Genie, associated with RCB. Even the KCA personnel apparently are absconding. Yeah. But what about the government? No accountability needs to be fixed over there?
Thank you, Madhav. Thank you so much for having me on the show. At the onset, Eid Mubarak to all our fellow citizens from the Muslim community watching Times Now, and to all our fellow citizens. Two issues. The government has acted, it's acted, there is definite action and accountability is being set, and of course accountability will go up. I have never seen this kind of accountability anywhere else in the country, at least in our recent history. The Delhi Stampede, who was arrested? Uttar Pradesh, who was arrested? I'm not even talking about the Maha Kumbh. I understand the Maha Kumbh is a separate event, and I have not done politics on your show on that. But when there was a godman in Uttar Pradesh, where the police clearly in written said there should be no permission, who was arrested? Not even an SP was moved out. Here, accountability has been set. The top commissioner of Bengaluru has been suspended. The additional CP has been suspended. The DCP has been suspended. Accountability lies with the government. Siddaramaiah has not shied away. Day one, he took onus about it. Yes, there are several questions.
But why is action being taken on the commissioner? Because his police did not give permission for the event. Is that why? And he says that there was political pressure that was being brought down. Is that why he's been sacked or been suspended?
Again, two things. One, if permission isn't given, it can't be verbal. It has to be in writing.
It is in writing.
And if he's not given that permission...
It's a part of the FIR actually.
No. And if he's not given that permission, no, that's part of the FIR. The written statement of the permission not given has not yet come in because RCB didn't apply for the permission. Let's be clear on that. The FIR said that permission wasn't given. If it wasn't given and the event was taking off, why didn't he put section 142? Why didn't he stop the event? The commissioner has powers. So these are things that have gone on. Again, I am not
many hands going up. One by one. Okay, RP Singh
Very interesting. Madhav, very cleverly, Tehseen has put the blame on the police. Although DK Shivkumar till day before yesterday or even yesterday was praising the police, that police has done an excellent job. And how can police commissioner dare in front of the deputy CM or CM? But deputy CM is on the board of the stadium. He was seen there taking pictures, doing all video ops, all other picture options. But how can any officer stand in front of the deputy and say, "Oh, we are going to arrest you. Come move from here"? No way. One. Secondly, all said done. We can go. You have brought all the points, given points, but the basic point you are missing. This is a political one-man upset. It is a tug-of-war between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar. The first program was at Vidhan Sabha, at the Assembly, and so he has to show that he is bigger than the CM. So this program was organized in the stadium, where there was crowd. I've been told crowd was managed and then brought from the constituencies to project him as the future, because the time is coming, 2.5 years going to be closed. So that projection has to be on. And that led to this, as per me. It was all because... Can I complete? I never interrupted.
Okay.
So,
quickly.
Complete your point. All because of the tug-of-war between the deputy CM and CM. And because one has to show that I'm better than you, and then holding a cup, holding a trophy, and riding on the players' victory.
Okay.
On the victory of
so they're trying to ride on the popularity. Ashwini, come in on this. They are trying to, one thing is very clear. what is the need to organize the event the very next day? In the case of KKR, it happened 3 days later. In the case of what happened the T20 World Cup in Mumbai, it happened several days after because there was a hurricane and therefore the team's departure itself was delayed. The point being made is, what is the need to rush in for it like this? Because it's not just the Deputy CM. We know that the CM and other top leaders were present, other ministers were present at the Vidhan Sabha steps when the first function took place, and that's exactly what it is. There is an attempt to ride on the popularity of the RCB, whereas the government has perhaps done nothing for the RCB.
Mother, it was not about riding on the popularity of the RCB. In fact, there were a couple of plans which were cancelled as well. There was supposed to be a parade which was cancelled, and it was even criticized by BJP's their MP, PC Mohan. So it is not that we were not accountable and we were not taking the cognizance of the situation. Having said that, we have done a magisterial inquiry and we'll come to know about all the facts, why this was done, who is responsible, and there are multiple parties who are responsible for this incident happened in Bangalore. Let's not make it political. And moreover, coming from BJP is a political pressure. As in BJP talking about moral policing when they have not even disclosed the number of deaths happened in the Kumbh. Number of deaths happened in the Delhi Stampede.
What are you talking about? Everyone knows how many people died in Kumbh.
I can list down.
There's nothing hidden in the Kumbh.
I can list down last 15 years. I am listing down all the cases happened with respect to
don't compare Kumbh with this. Kumbh was not a political game.
BJP government or BJP
Kumbh was not a political game.
Bihar,
it was all because of your internal politics of Karnataka.
Okay, one by one.
Taken accountability ever. We are government who believe in accountability. We have taken the accountability. We have taken the action, and we will take more actions.
DK Shukmar and the Home Minister.
No, but Ashwini Kumar Mishra, many will ask the question, just a second, that, law and order is a state subject. The police comes under the Home Minister. If not the Home Minister, and if he was indeed overruled, as certain top cops are saying, then who overruled him? Was it the CM? Was it the Deputy CM? And what really will happen to those? Who will be held to account over there?
Let the inquiry be complete. You will get answers to all such questions. Who was the one who
which inquiry? Magisterial inquiry, High Court inquiry.
Conclude this.
The government inquiry. Which inquiry are you talking about? Because there are multiple inquiries happening.
This is magistrate inquiry we are doing right now, and it's not just one party event. It is multiple parties who are involved.
Have you heard of a magisterial inquiry in which the Chief Minister is held accountable and is sacked from his job? Ishwaran, please educate us.
In India, because we have had a long history of how inquiries go, whether they are time bound, when they give a report, when they seek an extension, that's all there. But let's come to the specific instance, because it's a horrific tragedy. And while it's very okay to do politics, and you can choose whom to blame, the cricketers themselves, why were they celebrating when they had news of this? Did they not have the news of it? Was some cricketer wanting to go outside the country, so you had to arrange it? Or you want to blame RCB, why were they trying to organize the event? Or you want to blame the police, that it should have done better? Or you can decide to blame the Deputy Chief Minister. You can all pick your targets. But as a citizen of this nation, let us be very clear, nobody gives a damn about you. You have to be careful yourself. Do not be crazy about film stars or cricketers or any place where your life is at risk, because their life will continue. Politics will happen. Somebody will quote one state, the answer will be some other state, because accountability is not fixed. That is why people जो train में लिखते हैं ना, यात्री अपने सामान का खुद ध्यान रखें. As citizens, anytime you see a crowd, please do not go, because later all that will happen is a mock fight in which one state will be pitted. You did that in that state. Why aren't you accountable even till today? But if accountability had to be fixed in this case, of course it has to be on the political leadership. Can a commissioner of police cancel an event in which you have cabinet members going? It is an impossibility if you understand the governance of this country. So if any accountability has to be fixed in this case, it has to be at the political leadership.
Right. And, I want to bring in Mr. Pulla Rao. Mr. Pulla Rao, the day that the incident happened, DK Shukmar completely denied the police have done anything wrong. He said 5,000 personnel have been deployed at the spot. But when it comes to the High Court hearing, the state government says, no, it was closer to 1,400 police personnel. Where were the rest of the police personnel? And why was there this misrepresentation? Was it because they were too busy safeguarding the Vidhan Sabha event that the people of the city were left to their own devices? And ultimately, we see what happens. There was a stampede, and it is 11 citizens who've lost their lives.
You have to go back a little behind. All stampedes were similar and all stampedes were different also. And as you just mentioned in your introductory remarks, India has this kinship with stampedes. There are stampedes for temples, at mosques, at railway stations, at any other event. Distribution of saris in Tamil Nadu means 1,000 saris, there will be 25,000 people. You have to go back there. Can the police manage it, or there's something larger, a larger scheme is necessary? We have the National Disaster Management Authority. There is no such attention to this vast subject, where deaths are regular, damages there. There's something more needs to be done. I don't think anything is served at this moment by saying, as you mentioned, the number of policemen deployed, there are no protocols.
So that means somewhere there was a failure. There was a clear failure of the state
failure
administration,
here.
whether
There
it's the
was total
police,
failure
whether it is their
of
superiors,
February
and of
15.
course you have all these private bodies. No problem. Take arrest, make these arrests. Put them behind bars. All those who've caused the confusion, whether it's the ticketing agency, whether it is those responsible for the victory parade, all those who spread these false rumors and have led to the overcrowding, all need to be acted upon. But somewhere or the other, neither the police nor the state government functions in a vacuum. They have to be held accountable. It's happening right under their nose. Nowhere else in these other stampedes do you see the chief minister and deputy chief minister and other ministers taking credit. And that's why this is very different, Mr. Pularao.
No, you can't go there to that extent of, the smaller entertainment officials, they have no role in it actually. But you have to go, where is the system? Where did the system fail?
So who's
in the New Delhi
accountable then?
railway station?
So if police is not accountable, if politicians are not accountable,
because
if entertainment bodies are not accountable, then who is accountable?
no, it is the government of the day, government in the center, government in the states. There are no protocols. Stampede has happened on June 4th or 5th. There's another one waiting just around the corner. Nobody is prepared for it.
How does the center come in? Yeah.
Just a small point. That's what I'm saying. That is a tragedy that people will choose their targets. Central government has no role whatsoever. If you have to fix accountability, it has to be fixed at the political leadership of the state. Because as anybody understands bureaucracy, which bureaucrat will ruin his career by denying permission to an event or cancelling event. He did not give permission. To give credit to the commissioner, he did not give permission. That's what has come out in news report. But if people organize and the cabinet members come there, what is he supposed to do? Arrest them for
Mr. Vikram Singh, cops are the easiest scapegoats.
Exactly.
They are the easiest persons. And the fact that there have been certain reports attributed to top cops, so therefore take action against the entire chain of command and hold them all accountable. The politicians, of course, will continue in their jobs.
Madhav G and esteemed panelists, this is the safest and the most nauseating way to save your own skin in a most nauseating manner. Now I'll tell you, there are terrible fault lines in the entire episode and this terrible tragedy, which was an avoidable tragedy at that. To begin with, no permission was given, and to contrary to the police advice, these festivities went on. As against a deployment of 1,300, there should have been a deployment of at least 6,000, and probably they were due on VIP duty rather than focusing on the crowd management. The crowd management, when such an event happens, a fee has to be deposited in the government treasury by those making and organizing the show. Nothing like this happened. No liaison meeting, no rehearsal, no internal security scheme drills. At the end of the day, when you said that it was absolutely a total accident, and suddenly when the Karnataka High Court stepped in and took suo motu, then you found a ton of bricks being thrown on the police hierarchy, starting from the police commissioner right up to the Kaban station house officer, police commissioner, additional police commissioner, DCP, ACP, SHO, they were placed under suspension. If they were the best 24 hours earlier, how come they are being converted into scapegoats today? Now, the matter in which this unfolded, that we allowed this to happen and we allowed grass to grow underneath our feet by not managing crowds, by not contesting and contradicting the rumors that were being spread on the public address systems. It was almost a free-for-all, no rehearsals, nothing whatsoever. And the police, I agree that it was thrust upon the police that this has to happen because the political leadership has the veto power, and to say that in spite of a recommendation, then it is not for the police to say that we are fatigued. No police officer can say that I'm fatigued, even if it is a fedain attack. He jolly well face it and rough it out. And to say that I'm fatigued is totally not acceptable. Now we come down to the facts that they could have given a better account of themselves. If there ever is a trophy for the worst managed show, it will go to this episode, because nothing by the rule book, no internal security scheme drill, no fire exhaust systems, no ambulances, and no CPR dedicated teams to do that.
Okay, Pularao wants to ask a quick question.
The commissioner should have said, I stand by my ground. Commissioner could have overruled. Commissioner's word is final.
Overruled who?
I will take that forward.
He can stand his ground. He can stand his ground.
Overruled who?
Bureaucrat has to stand his ground.
You say he could have overruled. Who are you saying he could have overruled? The
He
chief
could
minister.
have written in writing, I'm against it, you order it. That order is not there.
Okay.
He has to write it.
With the greatest of respect, are we living in an illusion? Are we expecting a utopian kind of an ecosystem? Which police commissioner, unless he has suicidal tendencies, would disagree with the CM. He would put his point across verbally and go by what the CM asked him to do. And this is exactly what happened. He listened to the illegal order.
They had to succumb to the political pressure.
I have a lot of respect for Sir. He served our nation. He served Uttar Pradesh. Please, everything that sir is saying is hearsay. Everything that this panel is putting is hearsay. Oh, commissioner said it. Commissioner, he's right. Either you are
how is it hearsay? How is it?
10 seconds.
Why
10
is
seconds.
it
I'm not
hearsay?
interrupting. You're either pregnant or not pregnant.
No.
There's no. I couldn't.
No. I disagree with you.
Did he put it?
Tessie,
Was there an
one second. It's widely reported. It is widely reported
by
that the
sources.
cops were put on. Yeah, by sources. So that doesn't make it untrue.
I agree. Sir asked a very pertinent question.
That gives you some plausible deniability. That doesn't
No.
make it
Sir has
false.
given me a very good question. Was I there? No. But I saw that there is no denial by the police. To come out when you're being suspended for...
Let me read out.
Let me read out
from the FIR. The police inspector clearly warned that such an event would attract lakhs of fans, disrupt public movement, and more time was needed for proper arrangements. Hence, permission was denied. Despite this, KSCA, DNA Networks, and RCB franchise went ahead with the event. So what do you expect? What do you expect?
He has to give in writing from the SHO, the inspector, to the DCP. That's how permission is denied. 10 times I've asked Jantar Mantar, I want to protest. It's given in writing, yes or no.
Okay.
You cannot say
the protocol was not followed. It's correct.
That is 1 second. That is not the law that you say I'm organizing a massive event in 24 hours. I have given you an application, and unless you reject it in writing, it's a deemed permission that I can take over a stadium and organize an event. You have to 1 second. You have to wait for permission. RCB has to show where did they have the permission. It's a positive order you have to seek. If you're organizing a large event, you have to arrange for firefighters. You have to arrange for healthcare when you're organizing an event of lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh people, as they keep saying. So, if there was no permission, then the onus is on them to show, including the political leadership there. Now, why did they attend an event of lakhs of people without permission? Do not flip the law on the head.
Karnataka police is independent. The politicians will know. Of course, RCB is tweeting.
Karnataka police is independent.
1 second. Absolute. Zero. The chief minister runs it autonomously. Absolutely independent.
And you're smiling while
it is the most autonomous police force in the country.
Yes, Shekhar, come
Don't lose your credibility, man.
No, I think
Absolutely autonomous.
Mother, we need to understand.
It is like that.
No, we need.
Also autonomous.
Okay, Mr. Shekhar.
Please, just give me a few seconds. So we need to understand why is everybody talking about the role of politicians. See, as far as IPL management was concerned, the celebration was over in Ahmedabad Stadium. Okay, number one. Number two, on June 3rd night, as soon as all the MLAs of Bengaluru, they had organized, they had put up big screens, and a lot of crowd had gathered in different localities, in different areas to watch the final. So already the thing that it was reaching a climax, and people were celebrating till 3 a.m. of June 4th. Number one. Number two, who thought of this idea of receiving the players at the HAL airport, then taking them on a road parade up to the stadium? Vidhan Sauda was not there. Let me make it very clear, I've got this information. Now, this whole idea was conceived by Deputy Chief Minister, DK Shivkumar, and he and his supporters and his constituency people, they all wanted to make a big deal about it because this is a good way to showcase what has happened. Incidentally, RCB does not, none of them there speak Kannada. This is nothing much to do with Karnataka and the role of Karnataka government. This is a team which is a commercially organized team, and we know about it, about IPL and auctions and things like that. Now, the Vidhan Sauda idea came from supporters of Chief Minister. When they realized that DK Shivkumar had organized, he would go to the airport, join in the crowd and have a roadshow and reach the stadium. But the CM supporters wanted it to happen at Vidhan Sauda. And therefore, when Vidhan Sauda happened, the entire police was shifted from the stadium. Whatever arrangements had been meant for stadium, despite police saying, look, till 3 a.m. we have been at the job. And then the whole thing shifted, and all the whatever forces were available were shifted to the Vidhan Sauda.
And Chinnaswamy Stadium hardly has a distance of 1.5 kilometers. It is not that the answer is there 100 kilometers away from the
If you go by your logic, if you go by your logic, why couldn't they prevent the stampede?
And moreover, yeah, event should have been prevented. That's why they are holding police accountable. We had it in Vidhan Sabha.
The point is made in this country. Ashwini, just 1 second.
Accountable for it.
Just 1 second, I'm coming to you. The point in this country is that ultimately it is the netas, the babus and the VVIPs who will get all the security. The common man be damned. And that's how what has happened. They've lost their lives.
Something worse
That is
than
what
this.
we've seen before us today.
No.
Let him answer.
Let me go back to a discussion 2 days back we were having on your channel only, when we told that 5,000 police personnel were deployed on an average of 1:20 ratio. Sir said that 5,000 is not enough. Now we are talking about 1,300 number, and now sir is saying 5,000 is a good number, should have been deployed. So
even 5,000 is not
so
enough.
you understand the
point is
problem.
that
The
even
problem is
5,000
not
is
about
not
the
there.
numbers. Problem is enough personals were deployed, but incidents happened.
Ashwini, you know how many people took the metro that evening? It is close to 8 lakh people.
Give me 20 more seconds.
8 lakh people took the metro. You're saying these, even if there was 5,000, would that have been enough? The point is there was no barricading. The point is there was no organization. The point is there was no time for preparation, which could very easily have been done if you postponed it by a day
I
or
don't
two.
buy that logic that there's no time for preparation. Having said that, we cancelled certain events. We cancelled the parade. If there's a VIP visit tomorrow, Prime Minister plans to visit to some city, do you think police will not plan for that? Police will
Was
not
there
take
even time for
police
preparation?
will deny that I cannot take it.
There was time for preparation.
Visit of the Prime Minister, that the entire might of the state comes down to that crossing with the PM comes. The comparison should be between comparables. Now, this was a festivity. These people should have deposited the amount of deployment in the government treasury. There should have been a written memorandum. And as Ishkaranji had said, a speaking order is given by the SHO that you are given permission to hold this rally. You will not carry weapons. It's a speaking order, very elaborate. In the absence of that, how can you presume that the permission was granted? Obviously, no permission was granted. Number one. Number two, to wake up after the incident. And indeed, what I tell you, the undercurrent is illegitimate and expedient orders were given to the police to be carried out. They had an apparatus which they could not carry out. Illegitimate and illegal orders were given to the police by the political hierarchy for political expediency, not because of political propriety. Therefore, they saw where the political profit was, and they allowed the police, they asked the police to carry on with the festivities, with whatever rudimentary force and the equipment that they had. They tried to do their best, but they were woefully unequal to the task, and we had the tragedy at hand.
Right. And let's look at
something to add to this, Madhav.
Very quickly.
Madhav, problem is that one is just part. I mean, who organized it, whether permission was given or not. The second and the worst part is that when it was connected and when celebration was on, when DK Shivkar was holding this trophy in his hand, parallelly, same time people were dying outside. And how is it possible DK Shivkar would not come to know this? How is it possible? It means he's ruthless or he has no heart. What sort of man he is?
DK Sukumar came out right after that.
No, right.
He told that
proves my point. That he knew about it. He had a mask on his face.
And he told
that proves my point. That he knew about it. He knew about it. And he still carried on with the program. The celebration. People were dying outside and men were celebrating inside.
Such incident.
We are sort of man is
government.
मुखौटा लगाकर चेहरे पे मुखौटा लगाकर आप वहाँ पर खुशी मना रहे हैं और आपको पता बाहर लोग मर रहे हैं आपके स्टेट के
Okay.
सर पता था आके तुरंत आके इन्फॉर्म किया इंसिडेंट है
रोकना चाहिए था वहीं के वहीं प्रोग्राम रोकना चाहिए था प्रोग्राम चलो to start
common in all the stampede.
Yeah.
We just lost valuable lives of India. This is common in all the stampede.
Absolutely.
What is the claim of BJP is that it has been organized by the government. All right. Kumbh was organized by Andhra Pradesh government in Uttar Pradesh, and Yogi was there telling everybody that come here, it's after 144 years, the day has come, please come. He invited many VIPs, lots of road. All this has been done by the government of Telangana, not by the government of UP. If they has been accountable for this, so you are just giving clean chit to Uttar Pradesh government that they were not responsible. How many suspension was there? 0. How many apology was there? 0. How many arrest was there? 0. Nobody is responsible. If people dies in Uttar Pradesh, nobody is responsible. And if people dies in Karnataka, Telangana and West Bengal, local state government is responsible. This is what? If you say somebody who is living on moon, on Mars, they will say that you are idiots living on this earth. No, they will not believe you what you are saying. If something is happening, people are dying in Uttar Pradesh, people are dying in Karnataka, they will not say. They are valuable asset lives of India. They are valuable assets and life of India. It's the responsibility of the state government to save their life.
We can debate this with a little more equanimity. Simple question. question, RP Singh, that he is posing. He says there are double standards. There are certain standards for certain states and other standards for other states. Do you agree with him?
No double standard, Madhav. That was a program which was a religious program. This was a program organized by the political entities.
We are putting our political entities.
I'll give you a chance.
If something religious is being involved, you say that people come here and die.
I'll give you a chance to respond. Just 1 second. Just respond to it. You can respond.
He should answer.
One by one.
If there is a religious event, you are inviting people to die there.
Worst part is that DK Shikmar knew about this. That people are dying outside.
Yogi also knew about it.
How is it possible? And the man admitted. The spokesperson admitted this.
I want to respond. He's just coming. Mohammed Tariq Khan is just coming. Tariq Khan, your response now.
No, what I'm saying, everything was known by Yogi Adityanath. Like, I'm just saying that Karnataka government is responsible. I'm not giving clean sheet to Karnataka government, even though I'm in Congress. I'm saying they are responsible. Exactly the same way Yogi Adityanath is responsible.
And then people are dying outside.
Let's take a look. Quick,
Just
very quickly.
I actually agree with what Singh Saab said and what everybody else said, that the minute this program, this tragedy happened, it should have been called off, and I don't agree with a 10-minute delay. I actually don't agree with it. That's wrong. I agree. In Uttar Pradesh, flowers were showered after that. Was that acceptable?
Exactly.
I'm just saying, have the same standard. In Telangana, in a private theatre, a private actor, sir, please hear me out, kept his bouncer, stopped the SHO to ask him to evacuate, the DCP and IPS officer to come and move the actor out. Is this acceptable, sir? And these people are saying, why was the actor arrested, sir? SHOs, the bouncers are telling the SHO, go there. Go there. There was a woman officer, say, udhar jao, don't come next to the actor, when there was a stampede outside. Is this acceptable, sir? He's right. Do all lives not have one value, sir?
Absolutely, what you're saying is a lot of logical consistency, but I would again say a comparison should be between comparables. I could go on and on saying there was an irresponsible member of parliament of the Rajya Sabha. She said bodies have been thrown into the river, and I also recommended on your show a case should be registered. Either the bodies were desecrated, or you're leveling a false allegation and a serious one at that. You are a member of parliament and we expect a basic degree of responsibility from on the accusations that you raised. But I agree with Mr. Tariq that any single life that is lost is an irreparable loss to society and to the nation.
Okay. Let's take a very quick look at what has happened in Karnataka and what really is the proof that we have that the government was involved. Now, this is really what we're talking about. This is the first evidence. It's a document. We were talking about documents a short while earlier. On the 3rd of June, KSC has proposed RCB victory celebrations. This is a letter, of course, in Kannada, and this is to the police. There's another letter, in fact, that is there to the DPR, which is part of the government. That's also written in English. The second evidence is the Karnataka HM has said on the 4th of June, 12:45 p.m. that there will be no victory parade. What it shows is that the permission was denied as far as the government was concerned. Now, evidence 3 is that June 4th at 1:08 p.m., traffic police has posted that there is no victory parade, and later this post was deleted. This shows that there was a lot of confusion surrounding whether the parade is happening or not. We're also talking about how RCB then announced free passes and a victory parade at 3:14 p.m. RCB then ignored the permission denial that was given by the authorities. This is the social media post that we're talking about. Let's also talk about the 5th piece of evidence. 3:50 p.m. Crowd swell. DKS has posted a victory video. As you can see, he was at the airport and later the stadium, and he was there at the point of time when the turnout was being presented, and this is his social media post as well, which we're putting in evidence over here. The 6th piece of evidence, June 4th, 4 p.m. onwards, Stampede at Chinnaswamy, celebrations at Vidhan Sauda. This is what really is the time when the government should have stepped in, should have called it off. Whether it's the police, whether it's the administration, doesn't matter. They could have stepped in at that point of time. DK Shivakumar later reaches Chinnaswamy Stadium at 5:45. This is the other evidence that is being seen over here. He participated in that particular event, and of course his statements have already been debated over here as far as the our guests are concerned. And we also saw him saying that we are sorry for cancelling the parade. The big question is that when he was there at that event, and I come back to the point being raised by others, and Ashwini, you can come in on this. Why exactly was he not able to call off that event? Any politician with some amount of sensitivity would have said that, look here, deaths have happened, let's just call it off. It is so insensitive that we were breaking news at that point of time that deaths are happening. and half an hour, 45 minutes later, the celebration, song, dance, all the cricketers on stage happens. Why could it not have been called off? Can the government not call off such a big event?
I think Madhav should play his bite right after he gave the bite right after coming up the stadium. And he told that event will be called off within 10 minutes. There were 30,000 people inside the stadium as well.
Ashwini,
To call off the event of large scale.
just 1 second, sir. Did you see his bite before he went into the stadium?
Yes,
What did
I
he
did.
say at that point of time? He said, sorry, we are not able to carry out the victory rally.
Victory parade.
That is where things become extremely complicated. If he was apologizing, he wasn't apologizing for the deaths. And that is where the question arises. This is where the government has to come in and at some point of time take a hard call. Now, he is saying that it is for the transfer of power. There are local body elections that are to be held in Bengaluru and other parts of Karnataka. Whatever is the reason, I'm not getting into that. The point is there was an attempt at hogging the limelight, at getting more publicity from the RCB victory.
That's very wrong allegation. When he went inside, that point of time, there was not confirmed news about the deaths. And he went inside, when the news came about the death, he came outside and clearly told that we need to wind up this event within 10 minutes and gave that bite. It was not a political event, and please don't politicize it.
Is that what happened, Shekhar? Is that what happened?
You know, the paradox here is, even the DK Shivkumar or Siddaramaiah are not, citing Kumbh tragedy to defend what has happened. The whole thing was, it was a DK Shivkumar show, of which Siddaramaiah was not fully aware. Even Karnataka Home Minister Parameshwara was not aware. And when finally they wanted to stop this, it was too late. And this has a bigger impact on impending things to happen or not to happen in November. This is all about the leadership tussle. And DK Shivkumar wanted to showcase this RCB's win as something that people of Bangalore, and he himself hails from that region. So that is why you found DK Shivkumar wanting to lead a road show, wanting to take them all and Vidhan Sauda came in between. And Vidhan Sauda was not planned. And what happened in Vidhan Sauda? The children of ministers and VIPs were taking selfies with Virat Kohli. And Virat Kohli himself was not aware what the hell was happening. So the whole, I think, as you said it was to hog the show, but at a huge cost. Now, the whole effort is now to prevent a political cost. But I don't think Siddaramaiah will let this event go, this incident, this tragedy go without ensuring that the Congress High Command is aware as what the role played by DK Shivkumar. DK Shivkumar in turn is of course on the defensive, and he has been going saying these are all my people. How are they all your people? Just because you're deputy CM, or were crowds organized? My information is crowds were organized because the stadium itself cannot hold more than 35 to 40,000 people. The RC, if at all the stadium authorities are anyway, involved in this, because they came with this thing, you register. And that registration appeal came too late. So there was a lot of confusion. And the stampede happened outside the stadium. Private guards were only there. There was no enough police personnel. And the first of it, what we hear is that the slab over a drain collapsed. That is outside the stadium, not inside.
No, and even if there was a slab that collapsed, that's not the only reason. There was a lot of pushing and shoving which caused this. But Mr. Pullara, I want you to come in on this. Ultimately, it is the political tug of war in Karnataka that has led to things coming to such a pass, says Mr. Shekhar Iyer. Do you agree?
No, in a way I don't agree with that, because I still say, you just remember Mr. H.C. Gupta, Secretary Cole is in jail still. The civil service or the police had a role. They did not play the role in the tragedy. And secondly, how can they stop this? Lakhs and lakhs of people have come there. Lakhs. They would have
crowd control measures, barricades, this is all basic policing.
I'm sorry to say this, once they've come, this is taking place on the side. It sounds very insensitive of me, but they could not have stopped it. There might have been another riot.
Was there any barricading done, sir?
What is the effort that they took?
Were there any ambulances there?
Of course, there was barricading.
Of course, there was barricading.
Very volatile situation. To say, stop it, now you go home. It wouldn't have happened. I know these events take place in seconds. Decisions are made, bad decisions are made. There are no protocols. There has been collapse. I will not say only politically, administratively. They have to take responsibility. Why this fear of overruling the politics?
Okay, politically and administratively, police also has to take responsibility. Please
It's
respond.
a very heady mixture of naked political opportunism, police incompetence, and also bungling and knee-jerk reaction to save your own skins in the same order. I would say that everybody wanted to save it and pass on the buck. The police, of course, were caught on the wrong foot. There is no doubt. I had expected a lot better. No drones, no proper barricading. You can have skeletal barricading, then you have functional barricading. There was no functional barricading. There was no rehearsal, and there was also not a backup plan. There was no contingency plan. I could go on, and there were no green corridors also. You have to have a green corridors to take the injured rather than give them the CPR there itself. But nothing like that happened. Bangalore police is one of the most advanced police forces in the country. Let us not forget that. But why they were caught on the wrong foot, and I would not like to believe, as Mr. Tehseen says, that we were tired. A policeman, even if he has a bullet, let me build up. A policeman can never be tired, even if he has a bullet in him. He says that, yes, I'll fight to the last breath. And I'm given to understand that somebody in the police said, we are tired and fatigued because of the arrangements for the last 48 hours. It is then you're unequal to the task, and then you have no business to be in the police.
Yeah.
Okay, quick response.
I absolutely agree with Sir. The police have served us so well, including Sir himself, and we're very grateful for your service. The police were caught like a deer in front of the headlights, unfortunately, because as Shekhar Sir rightly put it, the Cricket Association of Hyderabad, the Cricket State Association. Of Karnataka. They owned the stadium. They put out their tweet where they said free tickets available. They are not just the owners of the stadium. As whatever protocol Sir said, the police can collaborate with them, the police can coordinate with them when there is an event that has been organized, and as Ishkaran rightly said, permission is given. I don't know an event is happening. I am tweeting the event is not happening, me being the police. They are organizing and they're tweeting free tickets. Obviously, there's going to be a crowd. I completely concede to your point. Drones should have been used, AI technology should have been used. But, sir, there was supposed to be no event. Therefore, I'm saying these people should be tried, not just under simple laws, under more stringent laws, because people have lost their lives.
Absolutely, but more stringent laws perhaps against politicians also required. But let's take a look at what the perspective is nationally. We've been discussing various national events from Kumbh, what happened in the Delhi station, so on and so forth. Let's take a look at some of the events just of the last 12 months. In May 2025, we saw in the Goa temple a stampede during the annual Lai Rai Devi procession, and we saw 6 casualties there, 50 injured. Let's quickly take it across to the next event that we're talking about, the tragedy that we're talking about. It was in February 2025, the New Delhi railway station, a stampede on the footover bridge between platforms. 18 dead in this as well. Let's move on to the next such stampede we're talking about. In January 2025, we saw in the Maha Kumbh stampede in the early hours of January 29 before the Amrit Snan. Casualties were 30 dead and 60 injured. Let's move on to the next one that we're discussing. We're discussing at the Tirupati temple in 2025 January, stampede during token distribution for special darshan. 6 dead in this stampede as well. When it comes to what we saw, it take place at the Sandhya Theatre in Hyderabad in December 2024, a stampede where Pushpa 2 actor Allu Arjun was visiting the theatre. 1 dead in this stampede as well. This is, of course, some of the events. Yes, we're also talking about July 2024, Narayan Sakar Hari Satsang at Hathras. We saw permission that was sought for 80,000 people, but 2.5 lakh attended. The casualties here were 121. Now, there are repeated instances. And let me begin with you, RP Singh, because, you know, in the state of Uttar Pradesh, there is Hathras. We have seen what happened during Kumbh. It's not just about Congress ruled states or opposition ruled states. There is a serious problem in how we manage big events. And there is a serious issue of crowd management, because it appears the number of deaths and the number of instances across the country that lives ultimately are cheap in the country, that people die, nothing really happens, no one really is held to account.
Madhav, I 100% accept that there has to be a common policy for managing crowds, and there has to be some rules for that. But difference between all what you mentioned and between what happened in Bengaluru is that it was a political event organized as told by the panelists, that as a tug of war going on between the politicians there, the deputy CM and CM. The game is that after another few months, the role has to be changed, and there is a tug of war already going on that. And to take all that light on yourself, to hawk all that light on yourself, it was being conducted. And you see the pictures yourself. DK Shekhar has gone to the airport carrying a flag, and then at the stadium, and all without any permission being granted. And then also one part is the permission of the police. Other part, where was the administration? The medical facility, the green corridor has to be made by someone or not. If the DK Shekhar, something could have happened to DK Shekhar. What could have been the option for him to evacuate from? What was the option to evacuate him from there?
He doesn't have a knowledge about what should have been done on the morning, what should have been done on the Kumbh, what should have been done on the Delhi station.
I agree. There should be a common policy. I am saying you have a common policy. What is your policy? What is BJP policy? I am telling is to defend and not to punish. What happened at Delhi railway station, immediately the officer of the Delhi railway station came out and he said, people themselves do all the thing. We are not responsible.
Deleted tweets.
Deleted tweets. That's what they are doing. They are not punishing and they are defending. This is the policy. This is simple policy of Bharatiya Janata Party is to defend and not to punish.
Well, unfortunately, the crowds have been blamed in the state of Karnataka as well, but Tehseen respond to this. He says the difference is that this was a political event in Karnataka, or at least it had a huge political implication, unlike the various other events which happened in the normal course of things. Your response to Mr. RP?
Again, everything is hearsay. The fact is, and I agree with all the panelists on this side, one, we need a national policy which can be tweaked at state level and local level based on the geographies, sensitivities, etc., which this government is incompetent of doing, the union government. Let's come to the larger issue. The fact is, BJP will always defend its people. There is no action taken, whether it's political, religious, actor, some other cause or cricketer. The fact is, people, Indians have lost life. Even if a politician wants to take credit for it, it is common Indians who have lost life. The fact of the matter is, some action is taken here, no action is taken there. One second. Let me leave the Kumbh out. Again, I didn't want to do politics.
No, you said
121 in Hathras. One second.
You said hearsay. Is it hearsay that CM was there? Is it hearsay that Deputy CM was there? Is it hearsay that Mr. Naveed Ahmed Khan was there? Is it hearsay that the Home Minister was there? Is that also hearsay?
No,
are there no
it's not.
pictures of this?
No, it's not.
So
that
why
was in the Vidhan Sauda.
Why are we absolving them completely?
That's a very good question. That it was in the Vidhan Sauda, for which there was no problem that happened outside the Cricket Association, where no permission was given.
There were two
Please, what I'm saying is,
why are you trying to do this? Why are you trying to deflect it? Was he there or not? And my question is bigger, Madhav. If something would have happened to DK Shikmar, was a green corridor there or not? Why there was no green corridor for ambulances?
They should be arrested and face the music. If any other government employee,
DK Shikmar should be arrested. No action, DK Shikmar is responsible for this.
It's correct. All the officials should be arrested. Nothing should happen to the politicians.
No, I never said that. Let the report.
That's the implication of what you're saying.
Two short points, like I clarified, because they have been saying that there was no written denial of permission by police. Police does not need to do it. You have to give a written permission to host an event.
Yes.
Don't flip the law. So they did not have it. Should a political leader attend an event of lakhs of people for which there has been no permission given? That's question number one. And if he attends such an illegal event, should he be defended? That's question number two. Question number three, you have Home Minister's statement playing that no permission will be given. How does RCB overrule it in a sense and say we will still do it? What was RCB's patronage to be able to do it? And you have political leaders higher than the Home Minister attending events. Will we not discuss those questions? The tug of the war is a part of record, how the Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister have been fighting. One says it's a brilliant police action, the other suspends the police officers. Has that not to be included? What was the show of strength happening, as some of the panelists have said? Does that not to be investigated? But on the larger issue, I started the debate by saying nobody cares. There are two ways of solving this. One, you hold the bureaucrats as well as politicians accountable, be it any state, Goa or Karnataka. Elsewise, public apna dhyan apne aap rakhe, nobody will care, nobody will be punished.
You know, and what I found amazing is yesterday, and Ashwini can come in on this, the Chief Minister said in Kannada that yes, there was an intelligence failure. That is separate. We're looking into that. But no action on any of the intelligence officials.
No, they have
only the commissioner.
Intelligence chief today.
Today. Now, okay, much later. All right, much later.
Need to give some more time, Madhav.
Let me just answer one thing. High Court is suo moto hearing the matter. That is why some cosmetic action has to take place.
Okay. Okay, this is all cosmetic action. Respond.
I think we need to give some more time. Let the inquiry be concluded. Let me get some more information. Who is responsible, and nobody will be left behind if it is accountable for the incident happened.
Nobody will be left behind. Coming one by one. Quick closing comment.
Left to the competence of Siddaramaiah as Chief Minister of Karnataka, he is an experienced administrator. And that is the point that the opposite side should understand. Try to see, they are making points that even Siddaramaiah is not defending himself. DK Shivkumar is not defending himself. Karnataka government is not defending itself. They are making those points. In fact, they are repeatedly saying we don't want to bring Kumbh issue. Kumbh is totally different ball game. But here the problem is, what are the immediate problems? One, they apprehend that Karnataka High Court may order CBI inquiry. That is going to be, that will take things out of control. And at this moment, what has happened is this one-upmanship. See, and what was the RCB people were saying? They were saying, look, our players, foreign players will go back. So only the Indian ones can attend your function if it is late. So TK Shivkumar, I understand, insisted, no, all of them should come.
Is that what happened?
That is how what has happened. Otherwise,
this is what happened. The foreign players want to go back, and therefore this is the insistence of the politicians. Coming one by one. Yeah, quick response to that.
I'm not a member of the Karnataka State Cricket Association, but I know which political party they owe their allegiance to dare to overrule the Home Minister of Karnataka. Which political party and which political party's kids they owe their allegiance to? I know that very well.
Please tell us. You know that. Please share with us. No,
it is there. It is open knowledge.
Share us.
Unlike some of my esteemed panelists, I don't indulge in water boutry or hearsay.
Please inform me. I don't know. Tell us. Tell our viewers.
I don't indulge in hearsay. There is no evidence.
This is hearsay.
But
this is hearsay.
Therefore, I'm not taking.
This is hearsay. When you don't reveal the facts, this is hearsay.
Who else will dare to overrule the Home Minister unless they know central agencies are backing them? Is the question I leave before the
I'm not able to understand this argument. Mr. Shekhar, have you understood it?
No, Tehsin is trying to be play the devil's advocate here actually. You see, it was simple. As far as Bangalore is concerned, DK Shivkumar, wields an enormous influence over the machinery there, the government machinery, more than even Parameshwara can command as Home Minister. So what has happened is DK was insisting that we have to do it. And see, apart from, the victory was a big thing for people of Karnataka, the city of Bangalore, but the people who came there, not all of them were cricket fans. Cricket fans plus the political mobilization of crowd there.
All right. We'll have to leave it there.
Very small point.
We're completely out of time.
Sorry, very small point is very important.
10 seconds.
No one is still answering how did DK Shivkumar still went on with the program when he knew that people had died outside.
All right. That's all right. That's a question that has been debated from day one. But RP Singh, as well as Ishkaran Bandhari, Shekhar Iyer, Dr. Vikram Singh, as well as Tehsin Purawala, Ashwini Kumar Mishra, Mohammad Tariq Khan, Dr. Pullarao. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us on this edition of the National Debate.